And so the next thing that I want to show you are the innovative features. There's things that QuickBooks Online does that are not in desktop or any other software. So the first one I was just talking about is the banking feed. Desktop allows you to import the transactions and assign the vendor and the payee and the class, for example. But the banking rules allow you to do all kinds of things like splits and automatically enter transactions and attach receipts. And there's so much more to it that isn't in desktop. It's so important and so central to your QuickBooks Online experience that I have a whole course on it. So you see that link down at the bottom. And if I could have Payton pop that into the chat as well, or you'll get that information from us in the future. So I have a whole 2-hour course just on how to use the banking feed, because when you first look at the banking feed, you're going to look at it and you're going to be like, that's not right. But the thing with the banking feed is that it's artificial intelligence and it's waiting to be trained by you. And so the more you use the banking feed, it learns your routines. It learns what, when this vendor comes up, it goes to this category. It gets more and more accurate as it goes and faster to use. And then with the rules, I have some clients where most of their business is completely routine. Their expenses are always from the same places. And so we can just make all these rules and it just literally puts all their transactions into QuickBooks for us. And the only thing that we have to do is categorize the checks because the bank feed doesn't know who your check is written to. I'm a huge fan of the banking feed, but I'm going to reiterate, you have to train it so that it works right for you. You just can't trust what it says and click on it. Otherwise, you're going to make a bunch of mistakes. So I love teaching people how to use the banking feed. Another thing that it has is built-in merchant services. You can get paid by credit card. You can get paid by ACH. You can get paid by Apple Pay. There's so many options. One of them is, like I said, you can swipe your credit cards. You can also send a customer an invoice that will have a review and pay button in the email, and they click on it and it takes them into a portal where they can pay now and they can make payments on your invoices electronically. And that's going to save you so much time in speeding up your accounts receivable that before you had this built-in merchant services, you would send an invoice and then they would print out the PDF and then they would send it through to their accounts payable. And at the end of the month, when they go through and pay all their bills, then they'll mail you a check. And so you might not see your money for a month. Now you can get paid literally in minutes and it's all built in. One of the ways that you can use it is by making automatic sales receipts. For instance, I have customers that I charge every single month for my coaching program. And instead of sending them an invoice and hoping they pay, I make a sales receipt. It sends it out on the first of the month. It runs the credit card and then it emails them the receipt. And even better, it will show up in my undeposited funds. It will group and batch the payments together automatically for me and match the bank feed. And so there's literally nothing for me to do for my recurring payments for my clients. How much time is that going to save you? It's huge. Another feature is the difference between it and Square and PayPal, that the rates are right up there with Square and PayPal. In fact, it's a little bit cheaper. And one of the benefits is if you have ever tried to manage your Square and PayPal transactions in QuickBooks, you know that they don't give you the full amount of the money. They deduct their fees and then give you the money. And then you have to micromanage every transaction and deduct the fees. QuickBooks Online has integrations with Square and PayPal. It's called Connect to Square and Connect to PayPal that will do all of that management for you. And if you're using QuickBooks Payments, you don't even have to do that at all. They pay you in full for the customer. So if you charge $100, you see $100 in your bank account, and then they deduct the fees in a separate transaction. So it's completely transparent and easy peasy. So using the built-in merchant services saves a whole lot of time. So I do, again, have a course specifically for that. So you can see the link down here, and it will be in your handouts as well. I do also have a course specifically in using the Connect to Square and Connect to PayPal integrations coming up in December. So you can check that out on my live calendar. Now, another feature is the Project Center. There's nothing like this in desktop. The Project Center allows you to do job costing, and it's only in the Plus and Advanced versions. But what it does is it allows you to bring together all your income and your costs for a customer project or job or sub-customer all in one place. So instead of having to look in the customer to see all the income, and then running reports to go see where all their expenses are. You can actually just pull up the customer project and then see the income, see the expenses. You can even job cost your labor and associate all of your expenses so that way you can see your profitability by job. That, I've done plenty of projects where I think this customer is my cash cow. I'm making a ton of income from them. But once I think about how much time I'm putting in, I realize that my margin is really, really small on them. So it's a really great way of doing job costing and really seeing what's happening behind the scenes in your business. So the Project Center is unique to QBO. If you are a company that would be interested in seeing how you're doing your job costing and your per project profitability, I have another link on the slide. I have a whole course just on using the Project Center. And so you can click on that link and go check out that course too. And of course, there's payroll. Now, if you're a small company, if you're a sole proprietor or an LLC, you might not be running payroll at all. You're just taking owner draws for your pay. And that's great. That's totally fine. But as the second you're ready to bring in employees, that's where payroll comes into play. Your payroll is built into your QuickBooks. It's completely full service. You can print checks if you want to, but it does have direct deposit, and they'll even pay the taxes for you. It's pretty automatic, and it really takes a lot of that worry out of your hands that it's correct. There's 3 different levels of payroll, from standard payroll to premium or basic, premium, and elite. Elite, they'll do everything for you. They guarantee everything is accurate. At the basic level, you still do some hands-on with it. Automatic payroll, where if everybody's on salary or everybody's just getting their 80 hours every 2 weeks, you can actually just set it and forget it, and your payroll will just roll. So it's really amazing how they've managed to automate the payroll and build it right in. So if you do need payroll for your company, I have another 2-hour course specifically on how to set up payroll, how to set up your employees, some of the considerations when using it, and how to actually, what buttons to push. And another feature is receipt management. There's a lot of different ways that you can bring your receipts into your QuickBooks. And when you bring in your receipts, they'll either match to the bank feed so that when something comes in the bank feed, it will find the receipt and attach the receipt. Or if the transaction's already in your QuickBooks, it will match it and add the receipt as an attachment to an existing transaction. So it's a two-way street. You can get your receipts into your QuickBooks in a lot of different ways. One way is that if it shows up in your email, you can actually just forward the email right into your QuickBooks and the receipt will show up there. Or you can use the phone app and take a picture of the receipt and it will just import it straight into your QBO. And you can also drag and drop them as well. So you can open up a transaction and drag a receipt right into it. So there's a lot of different ways of doing it. So that way you don't have to chase your employees down for receipts. You can just have them forward it to the email address and they just pop right in there. It means that you don't have to keep boxes and boxes of paper receipts for 7 years. Everything is digital, and the IRS is totally fine with that digital storage. So I have also a course called Look What I Found, and the receipt management is in my Look What I Found course. That's where I collect all of the brand new features as they come out. So the day receipt management came up, I added it to my Look What I Found course. Another feature, another time-saving feature is mileage tracking. If you are driving between clients, you want to be able to get that deduction. And especially if you're driving a personal car and using it for business, this is how you track your deductions so that you can use them for taxes. And so anybody who is either a primary admin or company administrator on the account can use the mileage tracking. And you can put in the trips manually if you want to, or the phone app, you can set it so that the second you start going more than 10 miles an hour, it goes, oh, they're on a trip. And so it will start tracking the trip, and then you can swipe left and right for business, personal, business, personal, business, personal. And then you have a mileage log that's completely IRS proof. And then it'll tell you how much your tax deductions are based on whatever the current rate is for the year. So you don't even have to take out your spreadsheet or calculator in order to figure that one out. I talk about the mileage tracker also in the Look What I Found course. Another feature, which is brand new, and they're still kind of rolling it out and figuring out what the right way to introduce it is, but I'm a fan, is QuickBooks Cash Flow and Envelopes. And so this is a tool that's available to the business owner users of your QuickBooks file. It's a separate bank account. You're actually starting a bank account with a green dot. So it's kind of financial tech as opposed to the traditional bank method. And this bank account, this cash flow bank account, is designed to be connected to your QuickBooks payments, merchant services, and your payroll, although you don't have to, but that's kind of the idea, is that you take the money in from your QuickBooks payments and then you pay it out through payroll. This bank account gives you a 1% APY, so you're actually earning interest. Now, it's not much interest, but honestly, it's better than the interest I'm getting at Bank of America. So I do use this and integrate it into my workflows. One of the things that's really cool about the QuickBooks cash flow bank account is it has this concept of envelopes. And if any of you have ever heard of Profit First, it's the perfect solution for Profit First. What you can do is you can create envelopes where you silo off this money. So you can have one account just for payroll and payroll taxes, and you can have one envelope for a rainy day fund, or I keep an envelope that I put a little bit of money into every month so that I can upgrade my technology, like buy a new computer. And so you can set off up to 5 different envelopes. The money's still in the bank account, but it's considered untouchable. The bank account doesn't see the money unless you move it back to the main cash flow level. And so that way you have dedicated savings that you can either put money aside for a specific goal, or just to have some money set aside, or maybe you're a sole proprietor or an LLC and you're just pouring your heart and soul into your business, but you're not taking any money out. You can put just a little bit of money into these envelopes. That's your money, your profit, which is the idea of Profit First. So the cash flow in envelopes is a really innovative way that Intuit is helping you manage your money and your cash flow and prepare for the future. So if you have any questions, go ahead and pop them in. And if you are using QBO and don't know what you're doing, oh my God, I so want to help you out, because I want everybody to be smart and efficient and have a good time and a positive experience with QuickBooks. So at the end of today, I'm going to show you what learning opportunities I have so that I can make you feel really confident with the software and even have fun with it. Because personally, I think it's fun, but I'm a little bit of a geek. So there you go.